recording. How's it going?
Good. Going
Does
okay.
anyone know how to do a migration on an iPad? Is it even possible? I haven't tried for years.
I thought
Migration from what to what?
Well, my iPad 3 from like 2012 is finally died, or the button doesn't work, and I can't do updates because it always says that the iTunes store cannot process purchases at this time. Please try again later, and it's just hung up on something. So my wife said, "Well, why don't you use this iPad?" And she gave me one that's like 3 years old. That's her previous one. Like, well, that's quite a bit newer than the old one. So I want to see if I can migrate things from one to the other. I'll look it up online. I just started about an hour ago.
Yeah,
So-
should be fine. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
if you can sync it with iTunes, I do that when I switch phones. I do that where I'll just plug the old phone into iTunes and let it do like a full sync,
Yep.
and then I'll plug the new phone into iTunes, and it says like there's like an option that you can say, like it'll notice, especially if you do a factory reset on the new one first. When you plug it into iTunes will be like, hey, this is new. Do you want to set it up as the way you had your old one? And you can just click yes, and it loads everything for you. So.
Now I have to find it. Then in that case, I have to find a computer that I like so little that I'm willing to install iTunes.
This is the which is funny. I had almost the same conversation with my dad over the weekend because he has like he's doing an iPad transition, and he's like, yeah, but I really don't like iTunes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's sort of, as a software engineer, I can tell you that like the reason that Apple generally has a pretty high degree of reliability is because they force you to have a single use case for almost everything. And so if you don't like that use case, you're screwed. but if you can be okay with that use case, everything works really nicely.
It's not like it's like if you like that use case, sometimes if you're willing to accept that use case, because the reason I stopped using Macs was I was trying to do hardware communications, and I couldn't get the serial port to talk to some factory controller. And I talked to some people I knew at Apple, and I described my problem, and their answer was, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So
they have their way.
It's like if you wanted to, at that time, the big thing was desktop publishing. So if you wanted to push pieces of virtual paper around and then have them do WYSIWYG to a printer, they're helping you a lot. Or I guess that was about the time Photoshop came out too. But if you're trying to do things like interfacing with hardware, no, they were like, why?
Why would you want to do that? Surely no one uses hardware.
Exactly what the engineer said. He says, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Remember the program called ResEdit?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
My friend was on the development team for that app or for that utility. So it's not like I didn't have connections deep inside Apple. It's just they didn't have any sympathy for my line of work.
Pretty much, yeah. It's got to be the way they want you to do it. Cool. So I just merged one of Emre's things there. So we got a carrier wave bump to pass this test. So I'll go ahead and approve and merge that as well.
I've also been having a problem with Grafana that I'm not sure where it originates, or
we can help you with that. And then the other thing is, I wanted to play around with image attachments on dev, but I don't know. I wanted to deploy this, but I think it failed or something. So let me start like a new one. And I think it might have had to do with, that's right, because I was trying to do the API deployment, and I got that done last week after our meeting. But it was really bumpy, and I found out why. And that might have been why our deployments have been bumpy for a while. Is it looks like Postgres changed the location of their RPMs, and so basically, like whenever we deployed or whenever we got a new server, it was trying to go out to Postgres's Yum servers to like check packages, which is probably really slow because it was not there. And then when I tried to get like a new VM, the new VMs just totally didn't come up at all because they didn't have a copy of Postgres, and they were trying to go out to Postgres's Yum servers to get it, and it wasn't there. So I found the new location, updated everything, and we're online with the new UI on api.safecast.org. And with any luck, I can deploy this. Oh, that's right. Right. I think you need like a merge or a rebase first, though. I don't know if I think I mentioned that to you, Emre, but I don't know if you did it because I don't see when did this happen. So you merge master in here. Tell you what, let me just put on a copy of your code so I can see if it has the Postgres fix or not. Postgres.
Oh.
This is the wrong location. So we need to merge master into this branch before I can deploy it.
Okay, I will do that.
Cool. Yeah, because I think I ran into the same thing. And so master has a new
Here, just for fun.
Oh, the muffler that fell off.
Yeah.
You should put that on Twitter so I can retweet it.
No.
Anyway, yeah, so master has a new location for these. So once you merge master into your branch, I should be able to deploy your branch there, right?
Okay.
Cool. And this is just, I can't believe they did, like they switched it from yum.postgres to download.postgres and they didn't set up a redirect. Like, yeah, anyway. Thank you, Postgres people. Cool, so that's merged. I merged your removal of refreshes because that's a super simple thing. And then once you merge master or rebase your call, I can deploy this to the dev server and we can try that out as well.
Yes, I'd like to try that out. That will be good.
It looks like there's an old RSpec Rails thing here as well. Let's pull that in because that should be fine. And it looks like it doesn't conflict with anything. So hopefully we don't get like a master Rubicop build after I merge that, but if we do, we'll fix that up. Cool. Cool. So yeah, I think that pretty much settles us up as far as like things that need review. What else do you got going on, Emre?
Currently, I'm trying to get the data from Elasticsearch for the new charts.
Ah, the charts.
And
Yep.
right.
Nice.
And that's going well, or?
I have difficulties figuring it out a little bit.
Okay. Anything in particular?
I don't know how to access the data that Grafana gets. Like the measurement data from the table, it's different what Grafana has. So
yeah, you need this one. It's this model, and that should go get it from Elasticsearch.
Okay.
So it should just be a matter of like index measurement. Here, let me find some usages here. Because we probably even have, I know like the ingest export page uses it. Yeah, ingest controller. Right. Oh, that's right. We did like a data for helper, which is basically just a call to search. And it's all based on the Elasticsearch model stuff, which is just like an open source gem. So you can use that to get a sense for like how to query it and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then it
It seems that I saw too complicated how it works, but I just get it from the model, right? Like the other models. Okay.
So long as you have the Elasticsearch URL set, and let me. There's probably a password in that, so I'm not going to open that file on screen. Give me just 1 second. And so, like, I don't know how you set up your local environment, but if you Elasticsearch user, Elasticsearch password. Yeah, so if you set up Elasticsearch, okay, cool. So there's this file that doesn't have a password in it. And so if you add this environment variable to your Rails server and put in your, like the username and password that I gave you, then it should just be able to access the main Elasticsearch with no problem. You won't get write access, but that shouldn't be a problem. Like, you know, I set up your account for just read-only access, so you can read from the prod server from your local dev environment to do whatever you want there. We do also have some in the ingest controller spec, I believe. We have some like stub data here. So you could potentially do this against like a local Docker compose. That's another option. Like if you just wanted to play with it locally and have full control to do whatever you want. But if you wanted like if you wanted to be able to see like the same data that's sitting on Grafana, then you would set Elasticsearch URL to be the main one that Grafana is pointing to, and then you should be able to see all the same graphs.
Okay, got it.
Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Yep. And this model class should do the trick. It's not, it's Elasticsearch, not Postgres, so the access pattern is going to be a little bit different, but it should be pretty similar once you get like a model in hand. And you might even be able to use GraphKick or whatever it's called, ChartKick, I think, to
right.
do that. Yeah, because it looked like that was just a wrapper around like either HighChart or ChartJS or whatever. So I think like ChartKick plus ChartJS, I think probably should do the trick here. Give it a shot, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cool. Looks like we just got some visitors, so apologies for a little bit of noise in the GenCon outside my office. So yeah, cool. That'll be exciting to see. Give it a try. Drop questions in the channel. Oh, we don't have Batran here.
Batran just came in.
Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. I just confused my Zoom because I know Batran was looking at some stuff with GeoServer that might be interesting to talk about. I don't have anything to report on. Yeah. I don't have anything to report on my issue. I'm going to be taking off. Well, I'm taking volunteer time next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so that'll be my chance to look at that data problem.
Okay, and if you have time, look at the migration to ingest for that thing. That would be wonderful if we could fix that.
So that's what I'm hoping to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Okay, great.
Batran's not on the GitHub org. Is it still just Sean that has access to that? I think it probably is.
Sean, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't technically assign this issue to Batran until until Sean invites him.
We should ping Sean about it.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, I saw that, but he should do that. Or Peter maybe can do that too, or not?
Yeah, I don't. Last time I checked, I don't think so. I feel like we're reaching a point where
you have two people with permission everywhere. I mean, that's our standard.
Yeah, we should.
People are on airplane. People are,
I agree with Joe. Yeah. Not only one person. Yeah. We have many buses running around.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, I'm still familiarizing myself with the sensors and things. So lots of questions and question mark. But I checked some of the data in Postgres, and it seems there are some fixed sensors already in some countries, like in Japan and in Europe and in some other countries. So those are the BG sensors. They are fixed. They don't move.
The BGIGs move around.
Yes.
Yeah, but the BGIG cars not, and the point cars not, and the solar cars are not supposed to move, but they do move.
But yeah, Rob's BGIG cast moves around an awful lot.
So the BGIG sensor, they move, and the objective here is to visualize things as you shown in the bottom of the screen, like make a very cool heat map and display the distribution of the measurements over a map and so on.
I think the even more important thing for your case is going to be the airnote data.
Yes,
which is this, right? Yeah, and those are double stuck, like those get double stick taped to a window, so they shouldn't move around.
And there's also an RAT node coming.
Oh, sorry, a what node?
A RAT node, an radiation node. Yeah.
So here so the airnote data it moves, and we want to display for every user his trace.
The airnote data shouldn't move around. Like I said, the sensor gets stuck to a window. So I mean, it might, but it shouldn't move much.
But that's for the BGAIKI. For the BGAIKIs, they move around, and that data should be on a map too. I mean, it's
Right. Okay.
But
Maybe
if-
more.
Trying to find a picture here, so I can just.
I did see the one in the issue, in the GitHub issue. It seems like creating a heat map to display the distribution, like a little bit down. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
No, I was thinking of like an image of the device itself, so you could get a feel for it. It's not Air UX. What is it? It's airnote dev. We have so many like airnote channels that I get lost as to which one's which.
Airnote deploy, airnote dev. It's in one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one on
Here it
Peter's
is.
Windows you're looking for?
Yeah, this is the thing that I wanted to show, right? So so this is the airnote. So as you can see, it gets double stuck taped. I can't figure out how to say that in English. It gets stuck with double stick tape to a window, where ostensibly it doesn't move after that. And so this is the thing that we could really use your help graphing.
No, it's done with Velcro, so you can take it off. So it's not completely stuck on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas BGAIKI is this thing, which, as you can see, has like a handy belt loop, and so it's designed to move around. Sort of specifically, it's built with that purpose in mind, is that you'd be like driving around with it on your car or a bike or something like that. So the BGAIKI moves around pretty much by design, whereas the airnote does not.
Yeah, I'm fond of saying BGAIKIs measure the environment in space by moving, and the others measure the environment in time by sitting in one place and letting time go by.
Yeah, that's good.
Got it. Yeah, very useful. So if we are to map the BGAIKI, which is sending data like temporal data every, say, I haven't checked the temporal resolution, 5 seconds. So we want to, for every sensor, display that on a map and then allow the user to see the charts.
Which pull up a drive page, like from a drive upload. That's, I think, the example he's missing.
Yep.
Yeah, but Batran, you should understand that the BGAIKI, most of them using an SD card, so they upload them in the API. While some, for example, the BGAIKI cars, they have them real-time monitoring, or they have the BGAIKI Nano can also send through another application the data.
Oh, right.
These are the imports, yeah, but Matt is showing.
Yeah. So this is BGAIKI, where you basically it'll map in space, and then you load up. It'll produce a file, which is what we'll usually call the drive file or whatever.
Or a log
that
file.
Contains a log file that contains all the measurements from that session, that recording session. Whereas the airnote, on the other hand, is continually reporting, and so you can see this data here coming in with the air quality information. Looks like we lost latitude and longitude for some reason there, so I'll have to figure out what's going on. Normally we would have like have a point on the map here that tells you where it is, but for some reason that's not coming through.
But also the BGAIKI Nano can also send through BLE through an application directly to the API. So it's a kind of mixture.
Yeah, that's probably one other thing to keep in mind, especially with if you use the BLE shield and use the Safecast Drive app, you still get a flow that's pretty similar to this, where like you'll hit upload and like you get that. But then the other angle on it is, I'll hold it up to my camera here. Let me stop sharing for a second, just so. The other angle is this little device here that is a shield that can like potentially link to your phone, for example, that you can use to do continual reporting from the BGAIKI that would show up in Grafana. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. This is the BGAIKI cast is this little shield, but there's also a simpler, I forget what it's called, but there's a simpler BLE shield that
BLE,
yeah. BLBEE, I think, and that one does a similar sort of like drive upload procedure.
BLEBEE. So
yeah, that's easy to say. BLEB, and that gives you a similar flow to this one.
So I looked into the Postgres, and it seems there is like a measurement table and a mappable measurement table.
Yeah. That'll be for the Postgres that I gave you access to is all this data here. And it's the same data that should show up in Elasticsearch.
Okay, so so all the sensors push to PostgreSQL, and then Grafana connect to Elasticsearch as well to fetch the data from it.
Yeah, it's like a dual publishing thing. Just to give a visual aid.
Yeah, show them, for example, Matt, maybe show that one. Good.
Yeah.
And also with TT serve in the middle.
Yep.
That's important to know that it gets split.
Yeah, so actually this particular slide doesn't have TT serve, but mainly TT serve will post an ingest. That goes into Postgres, which is the one that I gave you access to, as well as onto SNS. And then SNS will pick it up and push it into S3 and Elasticsearch, which are these two. Elasticsearch is here, and evidently the links on this thing are like a little confused. I keep trying to click and it like navigates. Oh, maybe it's my mouse, come to think of it. Click, yeah, sweet. So the Postgres that I gave you access to should have this same continual reporting data set in both Postgres and Elasticsearch, because they all come from the same source, which is mainly TT serve. I have this slide, which shows kind of like the Solarcast Nano that goes over LoRa to TT serve and then into ingest. And then ingest is that slide that I just showed you, which is the back half of the puzzle.
The airnote is a little bit different. The airnote goes to Node Hub.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have a diagram of that. Yeah. The airnote instead of going through
this one,
LoRa, it goes through, I think, is it just regular 3G? And then into
Nano 3G.
Yeah, no, I mean the airnote though. The airnote goes over something to a node hub
4G,
and then
4G.
serve. Yeah,
it 4G. Goes to 4G, LTE-M. I think
the only thing that used LoRa or LoRaWAN was the Solarcast, not the Solarcast.
Oh, Solarcast Nano is not LoRa?
Nope, never been.
Nope.
Oh, okay, for some reason I thought it was.
No.
Oh, this says 3G, so it's still Soracom though, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
It goes to a race company, the Blue Note and the Node Hub. It goes out, it comes back to
the
TT
airnote
serve.
does. What about the Solarcast Nano though?
Depends
the
on
Nano
what
goes.
They can work with the Solarcom SIM card, but most of them do not. They have cards that were supplied by Ray that are related to Blues IO somehow.
Oh, interesting. Okay, didn't know that.
I mean, I've opened them up to look and see what card was in them, and it depends on where they are in the world, which radio module.
Okay, so there's kind of a mix, I guess.
And actually that was the impetus for the airnote for the note.
Yep, for the note card.
Because it was just so much trouble trying to coordinate that.
Yep.
Yeah, and now it's all global, so it's much easier.
Mostly, yeah. I think there's a few places, North Korea.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. I have a hard stop in 6 minutes at 30 past the hour.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
So Batran, hopefully that helps give you a little bit more picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand more, but if you have like 2 more minutes or anything to ask.
Yeah. Right, 5 more minutes, it looks like.
All right, let me use them. So just for everyone, I am actually not a developer. I am a GIS, like from geospatial background. So I know about GeoServer and shape files and maps, but trying to survive about like Kafka streaming and APIs so that I can be useful. And one thing I notice, like kind of regularly we do, is for visualization, we have the aggregated data. So data that is being batched, like every day we batch and we aggregate things either on a grid or a hex or any kind of aggregation, and we display that on a map. And in this case, GeoServer would be very useful tool because the size is not so big, so it can handle it and it can serve as a request to any amount of people. But for the real-time data, if we want to display one specific user, for example, as he is going like on a real-time base, I wonder, it seems that Grafana already exists, and Grafana could be used to show the points on the map.
It doesn't have any kind of interpolation support is the thing. Like it can only show individual points and that's it. So what I was curious is if there's some way that we could basically mix the two, you know, like you saw in the issue where it has a mix of, it has the individual points, but it also has like an interpolation layer.
I see.
So Grafana can do like these numbers here, like the, you know, the 107, the 30, whatever. Grafana can do that just fine. What it can't do is any of the stuff between the points.
Yeah, and also Grafana is still quite heavy. It's only 9 megabyte, but if you have to load it on a mobile, it still takes time a lot. And if we have a more simple Java replacement, that will be great.
Okay. So yeah, these are two different directions. If we are to say we want to show this a kind of heat map, the aggregated part, then JuServer can serve the request and put on Grafana, or I can search for like a extension for Grafana with JuServer. But if we are to say we want to display both outside Grafana, then that's a different direction. So where would that be?
I wouldn't say it's like a hard requirement, but it would be a help, right? Because we do have people that are trying to access these maps probably over 4G with data caps, Rob included, that, you know, would benefit from having a smaller download if possible. It's not to say it's a hard requirement. Yeah,
or me in the car, you know, when I'm actually out doing data collection.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
What about the tiles that Nick creates? Can we put those as a layer and mix it with Grafana? Because that's the interpolation layer.
I don't think Grafana itself has support for like a different, you know, like I don't think it has any kind of layering support, which I think is basically what we would need. Nope.
But doesn't Grafana enable you to add your own kind of programmable map inside it?
I don't think so.
I think there is.
I think so.
I think I saw that one time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it can be done, but I don't know. I seen someone did it in a project, like completely program application and fetch the layers and put it on the map and so on. Yeah, but it should be able to do it. It needs some digging into it. So the part where we aggregate the data and fetch, like push in the tiles, like a server request to show the tiles on any map, wherever it is. This we can use JuServer if it's useful, and it could go either to Grafana or any other like map that we develop.
Yeah, take a look around, see what you can find. I mean, I would say the getting away from Grafana isn't like a hard requirement. I would probably classify it as, you know, it'd make people's lives a little bit easier as far as like loading the maps, if that's possible. And I just don't know for sure. If it is in there, great. I haven't personally seen any kind of like layering support in this tool. So
yeah, I think Matt, you had to stop.
I sure do. Time for the next meeting. So cool. Okay. So let's get back on the channel and looking forward to more questions, Batran. Keep them coming.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yep. Good.
All right. Talk to you all soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.